Hi guys, this is a very short video about something I want to talk about. And actually what happened that I came here to one of my properties in Coombs, which has an exchange maybe next week. So the buyer who is living in Northern Territory, he needs to move in November to this property, and he has a very close friend. She and her husband basically live in Chifley. So she requested me 2 days ago that she wants to come and see the property before the contract will be exchanged. So I said, that's perfectly all right. You can come over and I can show you the property. She came. She's a very nice person, and she saw the property. She liked it. She asked me a couple of things like some touch up and stuff like that, and I promised her we will do it. We will clean the property and stuff like that. As she was leaving, she just mentioned once that, look, I have got a property in Chifley, and we are also planning to sell this one, and we're gonna take another property which is my friend's property at the corner, and we love that property more. So as I asked her, like out of courtesy, do you have a real estate agent? And she said like, yeah, we're gonna use the real estate agent, the same agent who is selling my friend's property. So we're gonna use him, and he's gonna give us some discount and stuff like that. So as the time was, as she said that, and I was like, that's perfectly all right, that's great. And as she was leaving, I just asked her a question like, Gabriel, can I tell you, like, can I ask you what sort of strategy that agent is using? And I don't want to know his name. So she says like, he is preferring the auction, and what do you prefer? So I told her, look, we don't prefer the auction. We want to go through the private treaty with the price on the property so that we will find more and more buyers in the same category. So she said, oh, yeah, that's good. But why do you want to do that? I was like, then I told her the whole history about snap auctions, that why do we do the snap auctions, and snap auctions are pretty successful in Edge Real Estate Group. It's done by Steve Thomas. He introduced the snap auction, stuff like that. As I was speaking over and over, I saw her that she was getting convinced. She asked me another question. She said like, what do you recommend about styling? And I told her, look, Gabriel, I think if you style the property and you move out of the property, I can promise you I can get you 30,000 to 40,000 plus on your property. She looked at me and she said like, Adil, I have a small kid, so I cannot style the property, but I can reduce the furniture in the property. It's still just like stuck in my head about 64 Corendrick Street, which Steve sold in 2016, 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and 4 car garage. And that was a failed auction by LJ Hookers. So I told her the story of 64 Corendrick Street, that it was not sold by LJ Hookers, and the final offer they got from the bidder was 1.2 plus, and the property was listed for 1.6 plus. That was a reserve price. So as I told her the history, she could not believe me. And I had a tool in my phone, that I have some files on my phone, and I already made few things. So I just took out that comment given by that seller at 64 Corendrick Street in Reed about Steve Thomas. And the first line reads, we are so happy with Steve Thomas after the failed auction of LJ Hookers. I had that in my mind, but I did not show her. I was like, LJ Hookers basically told that lady that their house worth was about 1.6 plus, and they could not get it on the auction day. It was a failed auction. And that lady actually was a friend of Mark Sullivan, the guy, the chief of Activa Gel. So as I was just telling the story, she was just listening to me and get influenced, and I was just telling her the whole thing, that I was in a flow, which I tell everybody, because I have all those tools given to me by Steve. Steve told me when somebody says auction, you tell this. When somebody says, okay, what about the styling, you tell this. And these are all practical theories we have in the Edge. So I just told her, look, this is the thing, and they could not sell it. Then Mark Sullivan requested that owner of 64 Corendrick Street in Reed, that is called Steve Thomas. And Steve Thomas came and he saw the property, and when she asked, like, what's my property worth? And then Steve says 1.6 plus. So then she said why they could not sell it. And Steve told the whole history about, you need to reduce the furniture, you need to put the furniture in the garage, 50% of the furniture should be reduced, roll all the carpet, remove all the frames, all the walls should be neat and clean so that the buyers can come in the property, they can visualize the property and stuff like that. When you open the door, when you open the bedrooms or the door of any room, on the right hand side wall, do not keep the furniture over there. So I was just going on and on and on and on and on. So as she was looking at me, already convinced that she wanted to go with that agent, she just said, Adil, you have a card? And I just gave her my card. And she said, can you and Steve Thomas come over to my property? And I said, yes. And let me add here, if you tell us after giving you the appraisal that Adil and Steve, we want actually 4 weeks or 6 weeks time to think, we do not bother you. We don't bang on your doors. We do not message you. We do not call you. We are very ethical. She was 100% convinced when she left, and she told me, look, I'm very influenced by the strategy you guys are using of the snap auction, and why do you say about styling, and why do you think like reducing the furniture is so important? Then I showed her the last thing, and she was just damn convinced in the end. I showed her, look what happened with that property when Steve sold, 64 Corendrick Street, and I asked her, how much you reckon Steve sold that property for, 64 Corendrick Street, which Steve told that lady after the failed auction. She said probably 1.650. And then I showed her that was the original cutting of the All Homes, of the Rate My Agent, and the price was written there as 1.73. And her eyes were like open like anything, and she said, Adil, I'm definitely giving you a call after discussing with my husband. Look, I tried my best. I tried my best. She calls me or she doesn't call me. It doesn't matter. But I try to convince her, and I try to basically put this thing in her mind that taking a second opinion from another real estate agency is always better, because we do not play with your properties. That's what we are always taught. Do not play with the client's properties. Not every property is for auction. Not every property is for the private treaty. Not every property shows the price there. Some property shows by negotiation, stuff like that. And she understood that. And she, in the end, said, I am also in the favor of putting a price on the property so that we can get the buyers. So that's what the video is. And Steve requested me. That's why I came up and I told my story. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.